Arcade1up's stealth pre-order research. Let me try that again. Arcade1up's stealth market research. Is the AtGames 4KP actually fixed? And the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 disc pre-order delay. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in home arcade and retro gaming. And it's episode 160, and it was about time that I made a mistake on the intro. I actually practiced that a lot. Well, I mean, a couple minutes before every show. Just bound to happen. It is what it is. I'm going to blame the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to blame the Dallas Cowboys because that's what you should do in a situation like this. You blame the Dallas Cowboys. Basically, that just makes the most sense to me. If you watch the channel for a while, you know I am saddled with the responsibility of being a Dallas Cowboys fan, and today that absolutely did not pay off in any way, shape, or form. It was an absolute disgrace. Really sad. It was a bummer because yesterday was my birthday. I turned 48 years old, and I was hoping that maybe Dallas could, start off the season with a couple wins. That would have been really nice. Unfortunately, the New Orleans Saints, had different plans. It is what it is. So glad everybody's here. Hope you had a productive weekend. I started out having a productive weekend, and then I had to make a last-minute change. If you've been following the show, you know I've got a project kicking around trying to get that wrapped up. If you are a member of the channel, I'll share with you later in the after show what exactly happened and why. There's going to be a little bit of a delay on that project for sure, but it's so close. It is so close. I can't wait to get that thing done. So what are we drinking tonight? Drowning my sorrows, obviously, because my team is horrible. Tonight, we're going to go with the Maker's Mark French Oaked. This is the blend that I absolutely like for sure. Just a little bit more than the usual Maker's Mark, but it's absolutely worth it. It's a little bit smoother, a little bit kinder. Cheers, everybody, and I hope your team won. Somebody had to win. Saints fans out there, congratulations. But yeah, Dallas, this is a rough time of year. It's gonna be peaks and valleys for sure. But yeah, so anyway, so besides that, I had a pretty good week. Had a good video drop yesterday. The Marvel vs. Capcom fighting collection, that release, the drama behind that. We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about some early feedback, some initial feedback about the fix, the lag fix. Is it actually fixed? I'm sorry, enhancement. Is that enhanced in any way, shape, or form? We're going to talk about some of those mystery leaks that were here and now they're gone. But there's something else we got to talk about. The thing we do every single week, and that's the poll question. So we have this week is like every other week. We're going to have a question in the poll. The question is simply this. Now, if you don't know exactly what we're talking about, don't worry. We're going to cover it in the show, and you can jump in the poll and answer the question later on in the show. We leave this poll question up the whole show. And here's a question tonight. Pretty simple. If you could only pick one, which leaked Arcade1up would you buy for $499? That's the assumed price, the rumored price. Would you go for the Pac-Man Plus Deluxe cabinet? Would you go for the claw machine? Or would you go for neither one? Whether it's the price, whether you're just not excited about the product, none of it really matters. I think there's a lot of you out there, a lot of you are going to be watching this, and some of you may decide, I don't want either one. I wanted you to have the chance to vote. So those are your three options. Let me know what you think about that. Vote, vote, vote. We got 35 votes. Let's see if we can get that above 100. That'd be awesome. Guys, gals, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, or at least most of you. Let's talk about those top 10. Well, not the top 10, but the first 10. The first 10 comments. Every single week we go over the first 10 comments. One thing I did want to point out, we have a new member tonight. We have Jolly Green is a new member. Thank you so much, buddy. A long-time supporter of the channel. Finally a member. Thank you so much for joining the team. It is great to see you. Can't wait to see you in the after show later on. Now, if you are curious about what's going on with this after show, well, every single week I have an after show. It's just for members. It's a members-only live stream. All the members are redirected to that show, and we talk about everything. I give you some behind-the-scenes stuff, and I answer every single one of your questions. We just talk. We shoot the breeze. We have a good time. If you want to become a member, hit the join button down there on the, I think it's about right there, maybe, or maybe it's over here. I can't remember if my camera's mirrored or not. Hit the join button and consider being a member. Listen, it's only $5 a month, and then you get access to every single after show, and then I do a lot of posts, and I do some videos that are for members only. Enough talking about that. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat. Like I said, the top 10, the first 10. And we've got Kevin Clausen coming in clutch in the number 1 spot. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Hey, simple, to the point. just like his $10 super chat. That's right, $10 from Kevin Clausen. Never disappointing with the super chats. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. I have a bone to pick with you. Oh boy, I'm in trouble now. We used to see eye to eye 8 months ago. Dak had 1 year left to prove himself, or he/McCarthy are out the door. Don't use the Jerry Jones is going to die excuse. I don't have an excuse for you. I didn't think it was worth it. I didn't have time to react because they did it like 2 minutes before the first game started. I don't think it was worth it at all. And today absolutely proved it. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. The number one comment and also the number one super chat. Absolutely appreciate it. But you know where you got to go. There's only one place to go, and that is to the pit.
Finish him. Molina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Thank you so much for being here as always, buddy. Coming in at number 2 is Game Broker 84. What's going on, buddy? Hi, Fox. Happy Sunday. If the claw machine goes on sale, for real, will you be buying? What quality do you think this is? MDF, plastic. Also, I will be buying physical for both systems for Marvel vs. Capcom. There you go. I think I'm still on the fence. I don't think I'm going to get I thought that if I was going to get download, like a download only, the digital version, I would do that. I wouldn't do that for PS5, PS4. I would do that for Switch. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that, but I've already got my pre-order in for the physical for the PS5. I think you're looking at MDF. I think plastic, that would have to be thicker plastic, injection molding, and I don't know that they're going to pay the money for that. So it's probably going to be a flat pack MDF thing like we've seen them do forever and ever and ever. The real thing is going to be, I think the biggest question is going to be the mechanism, right? It's probably going to be plexiglass. You're not going to have actual glass in there, so the windows will be just plexiglass, whatever. That's going to smear and that's going to scratch. That's going to be kind of tough. But the mechanism inside, how is that going to stand up? Is it going to stand up at all? Thank you so much for being here. Coming in the number 3 spot, what's going on, buddy, is Ardith Bay? Sure, let's go with that. Sorry, I know I probably butchered that name. Hey, Fox, if digital is the option, I'll just wait to get it on Steam sale later. Few games excite me enough to make it a day one purchase at full price if I'm not getting something physical in return. I agree with you. And yeah, this always kind of comes down to, okay, well, if I'm forced to buy it digitally, I'm focused on the reason for that. Like, what's going to be the application? Like I talked about in the video, maybe Switch is the way to go because it's portable, but Steam, you bring up a good point, Steam Deck also. And then you can play that on a high-powered PC, and you're going to get a much better play experience. You're not going to be limited to the hardware that is the Nintendo Switch. So, yeah, absolutely. And, rushing out for day one, no, day one digital. Sometimes they add, some exclusive stuff, but that's eventually unlockable anyway. I got to have something physical whenever I possibly can. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. I do appreciate it. Coming in the number 4 spot is Nicholas Wisniewski. Wisniewski. Yes. The Bears. The Bears. Good luck to your Bears. I don't know if they won today or not. And the Bears are down. Sorry. That's horrible. That's really bad. That's horrible. That's just upsets me greatly. The only thing that's going to make this right is a super chat. Another one is $10. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Carlos Sanchez. Always a pleasure, man. My wife is not an arcade kind of person. Okay. I think a lot of people can say that, right? But when I showed her the claw machine, she loved it. I can't believe she wants me to buy it. I was not planning on getting it. Well, happy wife, happy life. How many people said that about the Casino-cade? Sort of the same thing. Wasn't really your jam, but if you want to have a space for that everybody's going to enjoy, you want to incorporate stuff that they actually are interested in. Listen, I'm the same way with my family, right? I want to have some stuff in here that maybe if it's not exactly what I want them to be interested because I want them to come play. Sometimes I just want to be completely left alone. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Really do appreciate it. And here you go. Perfect. And just when it looks like Carlos Sanchez is going to win, Kevin Clausen comes back with another super chat, $5, not to be outdone, saying, and another thing, Fox, I'm in a lot of trouble tonight. I know it's your birthday and a time for joy, but I will never buy a $5 membership to support this channel. Here's a $5 super chat. Listen, you got to make your stands, and I absolutely agree with you. To each their own.
Expo.
KO! Wolverine wins!
Rookie. Coming in at number 5 spot is Dan Z. What's going on, buddy? Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Fox Wink Punch. Good to see you as always, man. Angelo P, what is going on, my brother? Coming in the number 6 spot. Happy birthday, Fox. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. I hope you had an awesome day yesterday. I did. I had a really good time. My wife and I went and saw a movie and kind of just hung out. I was going to work on that project. I got a piece of artwork in. It didn't go so well. So I didn't have to really keep working on the project anymore. So I kind of just relaxed, played some games, had some fun, got Road Blasters working. He said with a question. It's close. It's kind of back to where I started, but long story. We'll have a drink next month to celebrate. Absolutely. Next month, buddy. Be in Chicago for sure. Now get back to work and give us the arcade news. Absolutely. I apologize. I will get right on it. Thank you so much again for commenting and being here. Coming in the number 7 spot is David Demings. What's going on, buddy? Happy birthday, Fox. You think Arcade1up has anything left to release in 2024? Thanks, bro. I think we're probably looking at it. I mean, here we are. It's September. It's mid-September. We've had 2 leaks. We're going to get into them a little more detail later on. That's probably all we're looking at. I really don't see anything else coming out. I for the life of me, I don't know why they don't just come out with more deluxes, but it looks like maybe, just maybe, they're doing this as a way to maybe differentiate themselves from not so much ThinkUp, but the old regime. You know, John D was out there saying that, listen, those designs that ThinkUp kind of helped them make is kind of the old stuff, not the new stuff. The new stuff was kind of developed in-house. So ThinkUp wasn't 100% responsible for those. So the reason for the shift, I think, is probably just economical. You know, I'm sure the new designs are saving them a little money, and they maybe just want to do something that just is just a little bit different than the old stuff they used to do. That still doesn't mean you couldn't just spit out more deluxes, right? But I think they're also going to be super selective about the games that maybe didn't do so well for them. DMAC in the little live stream, the Instagram video, said something kind of disturbing. Somebody brought up T2 as a new deluxe, and he said, "Oh, they didn't really sell well." So you're going to be looking at the same old, the stuff that just sells well. Get ready for more Pac-Man, I guess, because I haven't seen anything new as far as Street Fighter. I haven't seen anything new as far as more Mortal Kombat. So Pac-Man, and get ready for more Pac-Man. Coming in the number 8 spot is going to be Zero Cool. What's going on, buddy? Great to see you as always. Have a great show. Cheers to you. Cheers to you as well. JJ, what's going on, buddy? Coming in the number 9 spot. AtGames lag. Arcade1up. New, old, new cabs. New, old, new cabs. Sounds like it'll be an interesting show. I hope so. I hope it's interesting. And to round out the first 10, the top 10 is Frank D. What's going on, buddy? Did I make the number 10 spot? I'm having trouble counting today. LOL. Hello, you made it. You made the number 10 spot. I got a bunch of other great people here. We got Dark Empire, Jason Lillian, moderating like a mofo. Good to see you. Milkman Classic, Jonathan Boland. We talked about Jolly Green becoming a member. Thank you so much for doing that and being here. Mad Astra Gaming, Jim the Pacer fan, Thumper Squid, Nova Sonic 23, Ted Adam Green. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Gramps Arcade. Gramps, how you doing? As always, good to see you. Chris, North by Northwest. And we got Glairzilla. We got Andy's Game Room. And we got the P. Duberus Maximus. The Dubious Maximus? Nah, the P. Duberus. P. Duberus is among us. Only here until the Bears game starts. You got 10 minutes, Fox. Let's go. I hope I crammed some stuff in there. Miss G is in the house saying, hey, how are you? Fox is offering videos for $5 a month. Well, those are... For you, I'll make an exception. Something special. Yeah, special, exactly. Yeah. Okay, moving on before I start blushing. Chris Ford is here. And yeah, thanks, man. Thanks so much, Arcade Dave. Happy birthday. Yeah, I made it. Another trip around the sun. It's always good. 48 years young, I guess. Okay, so we talked about the poll question. You know what I'm drinking? I hope you got something in your glass, kicking back, relaxing. If you don't like the Bears, hang out with me. And then we're going to go ahead and, we're going to slide into the first topic. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 disc denied. Denied. What's denied? The disc is denied? What? My pre-order was denied? No, that's not really what's going on. What's really going on is Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection released. The same games list that we've seen on some Arcade1up cabinets is actually out there in the wild. It released on consoles digitally. Now, why is that a big deal? Okay, great. Everybody should play it, right? Well, there's an issue. The issue is all of us that pre-ordered a physical copy, because I did a video yesterday. A lot of you in this chat are of a certain age where you appreciate a physical copy of a game. And a lot of people like something tangible. We seem to be running out of physical stuff to buy. Everything just downloadable loses some of the, I mean, what else do you have shelves for? If not to put stuff on them, right? So if you have reserved or pre-ordered a physical copy, you're denied. Your interaction with your fellow gamers is denied because you can't play, because it is only the digital versions that came out this week and not the physical copies. The physical copies have a little ways to go. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So boom, as of right now, you can go on over to PlayStation.com. I know this is available for Nintendo also, and you can hit that old add to cart button, $50, and get your game on with the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. Great games on here. We've talked about this list. It's got, like I said, everything that's on the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet, except those stupid console games that we don't need to talk about. The 16-bit versions don't have that. And they also include Capcom's Punisher, which is just a great addition, a great beat 'em up, something to kind of change it up and kind of round out some of the action. Now, for the first fighting collection, you had all fighters except for the puzzle fighter, which is pretty cool. And they had a great sort of diversity of gaming. You know, you had some Darkstalkers. You had I think it was the original. It was the you had Red Earth, which is something that has never been released in the US. The entire game itself, officially, right? You could download that. You can get ROMs. That's about an official release, you know. So that was kind of cool. That first collection is a lot of fun. There's a lot of good stuff on there. A lot of fun. I think this new collection is going to be great. And of course, they just recently announced the Fighting Collection 2, which is going to have all kind of crazy stuff. It's going to be great. And rumors are swirling about a third edition. I mean, on that, I guess we're going to be talking about like Street Fighter 3 and that whole series. I mean, it could really be crazy. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure could maybe work its way in there. Some more CPS 3 release could be crazy. So that could be really exciting. But yeah, so right now, if you want to play, get online and play, download it digitally for $50 and away you go. But those of you that are like me, you want a physical copy. You pre-ordered a physical copy. I got mine pre-ordered from Best Buy. And you can see I've got a wee bit of a wait. So September 1st is when I finally, and it was available for pre-order for a little while. I didn't know which way I was going to go. Finally, I decided, well, I think it was going to be between like Walmart or Best Buy. I tend to have a little bit better luck with Best Buy. The store here locally is pretty nice, so I can just go pick it up. But usually I get it, have it shipped to the house, and it's mostly hassle-free. I mean, for the most part. What's going on, James? Good to see you, bud. So it's, Basil, as always, good to see you, man. What's up, Fox? Just rooting for you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so physical copy, I've got a ways to go. November 22nd. Now, this is a little bit weird, a little bit different. I talked about this in my video that I did this week. Or yesterday, talking about how usually if this happens, it's some kind of like a 1-day delay. And you'll have the digital version that comes out. Maybe there's like a day one special. You get a little extra something if you download it digitally because they want to encourage you to do it that way because they don't want to have to physically print discs and all that stuff. But then the next day or two or whatever, maybe even a week, you get the physical copy and away you go. So you're not missing that much. When you're talking about something like Call of Duty, listen, a day matters because you're trying to level up at the same rate as all your other friends. So you're trying, don't want to get started when everybody else has had a week jump on you and they're just destroying you. But with a retro game, it's not that big a deal, right? You're missing some of that initial interaction, right? But it's a retro game. It's not going to change that much. There's not a lot of DLC. There's not a lot of leveling up in some of these games. So it's really no big deal. A couple days is fine. But when you're talking about 2 months, a little more than 2 months waiting, damn near Thanksgiving, before you're going to get this, it's kind of disturbing. And it's definitely something I think that's designed to discourage people from buying physical versions of games. It's so bad. I mean, this is not good, right? But it's even worse in Europe. So in Europe, they're saying that the Nintendo Switch versions, when you buy the physical copy, you're going to get a box with the download code inside. Now, that's like some stuff they used to do. I know PlayStation did this when you had, like, I think it was sometimes it was a Spider-Man version of their console or whatever. If they said they had a pack-in game, you didn't physically get the game. You got a download code. Or rewind the clock to some of the PlayStation 3 releases, you would get the disc in a sleeve, but you wouldn't get the actual box or the instruction manual or anything. So you were kind of missing something. So the pack-in game was cheapened in a way. That kind of stinks. I know Evercade is doing it a little bit differently. As far as the Versus console, they're packing in the Tomb Raider trilogy, right? You're getting the actual Tomb Raider cartridge and the case and all that. So just like you bought that separately, that's going to be included in the game. So in the bundle, right? So that's good. That's what you want to see. But unfortunately, in Europe, you're going to be stuck with buying a physical box that's going to have the download code in it. I mean, why? Why would you do that? I mean, it doesn't make any. I guess if you just want something on your shelf, that's fine. But it really just sort of it misses the entire point of what's going on here. I mean, this is a major Capcom release, you know. This is not some knockoff company. This is not some one-off, you know, where they're only going to be able to bring you that game digitally. And so maybe they try to placate some of the people that want something physical by offering a little poster or maybe a card or something. Like when you get it, you maybe the download code is on an actual card, but it's in a sleeve and it's got something you can hang on your wall, something, right? But this is Capcom. This is a major release. And in other countries, in other parts of the world, you're going to be able to get physical copies of this with the Switch version and the PS5 version. Sorry, PS4 version. Still weird that you can just buy PS4 games and put them right in your PS5. It's almost like it's the days of the PlayStation 3. God, never understand that. Why we missed that. Why they just didn't ensure backwards compatibility with PlayStation 3 when they came out with the PS4. That's a whole other topic for a whole other video. But the debate continues to rage, and this is nothing new. This has been going on for roughly 15 years when you had the PlayStation 3 generation come out and you could actively just download games to your console, and everybody was building out their online servers and their services where they were going to make it that easy. And in the beginning, the promise was there. The advantages were obviously, you know, abundant, and it was easy to see the appeal. Now we're on the backside of it, and things are beginning to dry up. And now we have this. In my opinion, this is a company actively discouraging physical releases. They're trying their damnedest to discourage you from buying a physical release. Look at the latest PlayStation 5 Pro. The PS5 Pro does not include a disk drive. And it's not like the PS5 Slim that offered it separately or offered a version that had a disk drive and a version that didn't have it. The PS5 Pro will not have a disk drive. You will have to go source that locally, source that yourself. Maybe, I think it's the same one that's on the PS5 or the PS5 Slim. So maybe you could just take that one off of your PS5 Slim and put it, I have no idea. And of course, no vertical stand, you know. But the point is, they're not going to have the drive. What are our chances that the PS6 is not even going to offer games, you know, physical games, period? You won't even have the drive. I mean, we've gone from drives being included. We had CD-ROMs, DVD-ROMs, Blu-ray drives, to now we're at the point where we're having optional drives where you can choose to go with them or without them and save some money, or you can just buy it separately and add it on, to eventually, where are we going? Maybe PlayStation 6, where it's not even an option. It's going to be download only. Unfortunately, that's probably the road. I mean, that's where we're going, right? That's where everything is going. It is what it is. But this is the first real big negative thing. It seems like it's a damn shame that we have to wait so long for that physical release. But we got to ask ourselves, is it worth it? Now, if you're a seasoned gamer, much like myself, you're probably saying, yeah, it is worth it. And because it is a retro title, you're not missing. Only thing you're missing out on is that initial interaction, right? But I think the hype will still be there. If you appreciate a game that came out in the 90s, you're probably okay with waiting 2 months to play that game again. And I'm sure by then, if there's any kind of weak spots in the online experience, it's going to be fleshed out for the most part. So that is definitely something maybe you can look forward to. By the time we get our disc and decide to play online, we're going to be good to go. But then again, there's also this other crazy thing that some people do they don't play online, I know, right? Then you're really not missing out on anything. And maybe by then, all the updates and all the stuff, all the little fixes that happened over the last 2 months will be ready for you to download, and you'll be ready to go. But it is disappointing. I'm going to go ahead, at least for now. I'm not going to buy it digitally for PS5. I've already got it reserved. I've got the physical copy. I am on the fence about doing it maybe for Switch so that I could have a portable version without having to worry about a cart, because I know I'm going to get the physical copy on the disc. But this is sort of the situation we find ourselves in. For me, if it's a game I'm that hyped about, I'm definitely going to buy physical. If it's some small little indie game, I could probably just download it, and just have a digital copy. But anyway, it is what it is. So if you if you got the physical copy pre-ordered, you're going to be hung out to dry for just a little bit. But hey, at the end of the day, that's not the worst thing that could possibly happen. I mean, you could be like the poor people, our poor friends over in Europe that you have to wait for paper in a box. Okay, moving on to the 4KP fix. Sorry, I can't say fix. If you can't say fix, you have to say something else. You have to say enhancement. You have to say upgrade, whatever. Why can't you say fix? Well, that's what the company doesn't want you to say, because fix implies it's working properly or maybe equal to other games. I don't know. So back this whole thing up. We talked about the 4K. We've talked about the 4KP at length on this channel. I'm very curious about getting one. It obviously it has a lot of the upgrades that you had to do for yourself for the HD version included in the box. There's a lot of reasons to buy this. 4K is always a better experience, better resolution, so that's always good. And some of the themes, they look pretty good. There's not really a theme yet that's just grabbing me, right? But the lag right off the bat was a huge issue. And the thing is, these are the tables that were attached to the freaking theme of the machine you just bought. It's kind of a big deal. So this whole roadmap was announced by AtGames. Once again, one of the most complicated. It's not easy to understand what the color code means and all that. Some wasted space here, there, wave 1 and wave 2 and releases and all that. But basically, today is the 15th. On the 12th, we had our first round of fixes, enhancements, improvements, whatever you want to call it. This was focused on the Addams Family and then the Addams Family game pack if you purchase that separately. Also, we had the Universal pack, very highly anticipated games like E.T. and what was it, Jaws, and then of course my personal favorite, Back to the Future. Very, very excited to get a chance to play this. The feedback on those is good. They're supposed to have the fixes included as soon as you download them. So everybody else that bought the different versions, if you're waiting for those games, those tables to be enhanced, you're gonna have to wait till the 19th. So that's just about 4 days away. So by the 19th, all these improvements, enhancements, whatever, should be implemented, and you should be good to go if you got any one of the 4KPs out there. And then, of course, all the improvements, all the packs that come out are going to have all these improvements built in. I am very excited for hopefully, maybe, just maybe, a Back to the Future theme table. That's not been confirmed. That's what I'm really curious about. So the question is it fixed? Did it actually get fixed? Or the enhancements enhancing? I don't know. I don't even know how do you say it? How do you put it? How do you phrase it? MG, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you as always. Yeah. So where do you go to maybe get some really good information? Well, there's an official, 4K fan page where owners can go, and there's some actual people that work for the company in there, and you would think that's where you should go, right? Well, turns out that's not really the case. If you join those groups and if you say something negative, or maybe it's just a complaint, and maybe you include pictures of your stated problem, those comments are blocked or deleted, and then if you do that too many times, you're actually kicked out of those groups. It's kind of tough. So I am a member of the officially unofficial AtGames 4K group. This is where you can go. This is not associated with AtGames at all, but this is for people that are owners of the 4KP and actually are interested in purchasing the actual machine itself. So it's a great place to go and get some real honest feedback, because there's a lot of pluses, minuses, negatives, people complaining about stuff. You're getting a real honest look at this product, which I think is very important if you're talking about spending $1,500 when it's all said and done, shipping and all that. Now there is a different option. You can get a different, cheaper version, but if you want to go all in and get all the stuff, you're going to be spending about $1,500 to get all this stuff. So you definitely want to get a very good, honest opinion of what's going on. So this is the group that I'm a part of. You should definitely check it out if you're interested. I mean, you don't even have to own the machine to be a part of the group. Just you're very excited about it. Maybe you're interested. You want to hear more about it. Check out that group for sure. And as you can see, some of it's not going well. So this is something a little bit off topic, but you're going to see stuff like this. This is the back box has been damaged pretty substantially. The screen is all messed up, and you hear about the complaints and the challenges of the people trying to get AtGames to honor some of the warranty. And it's like I said, it's a great place because the dialogue starts here, right? A guy posts a picture, he's mad, he's just upset, he's disappointed, and he's trying to figure out how to get in touch with AtGames and get them to honor or to fix this problem, right? And usually, if you're on the other face group or the other group, the official group, they'll get rid of it, they'll kick the comment out or whatever. But this guy was able to post this, and he's having trouble getting back to. Having trouble getting in touch with Arcade or AtGames to get them to fix this. And so other people in the group are actually able to tell him, "Hey, this is what you do. Do this and this, and reformat the pictures and send it to him. And you should be good to go." It's a good place to get a lot of help from the community. I love it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, so it's not all sunshine and roses. So this poor guy's got some stuff he's got to work through and deal with. Let's get rid of that one. Okay, so are they fixed? What's the overall consensus? What's everybody saying? What's the skinny? What's going on? What's all the hubbub? Well, one thing that's hot right off the presses is this $5 super chat from Bushin Ryu Cat. Thank you so much for being here, buddy, and thank you for your $5 super chat supporting the channel as always. About the claw/UFO catcher, Arcade1up could design prizes as plushies or every IP for every IP they used. $99 for the pack of 50, and they can sell them separately on an online store. That's a great idea. I think this, if this does come out, this is something they could absolutely do for sure. I got some ideas. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat, brother. Really do appreciate it. And here you go.
Finish him. Scorpion wins. Fatality.
So if you go to this officially unofficial group, if you watch YouTube, overall, the majority of people say that the experience is absolutely improved. Now, is it 100%? Is it fixed? Well, that's probably why they don't want you to use that terminology, because some people say that it's not perfect and it's not necessarily fixed. But everyone it's almost 100% say that it is improved, right? So it's better. Right? It's better than what it was. Some people have gone as far to say is that, listen, it doesn't really hurt the gameplay experience at all. And they're posting higher scores that are sometimes double the high score they used to have when they were trying to fight with that lag. So for the most part, the lag seems to be corrected or improved at the very least. Some people say it's perfect. We're good. Don't worry about it. Some people say still some work left to do. But one thing that is, I like to bring up some of the positives and negatives, and this is photographic evidence. This is proof of a graphical flaw, a resolution downgrade. What are we talking about here? We're talking about some of these rails, and this is a funky one. This is the thing that really got a lot of attention in this group. A lot of people discussing this, showing this off, worried if it was pictures, different angles. But basically, this is Cody talking about, hey, listen, the rails, there's something funky going on with these rails. They used to be a little smoother, a little more gray. Now it's like they're trying to is it a chrome effect? Is it some kind of a layer or a texture or something? It's odd. So let's look at these pictures just a little bit closer. Now I have not resized these images at all. These are the images pulled directly from Facebook. I didn't want to mess with the resolution in any way so that we could get a good idea of, this is the best information we have out there. You can see the picture on the left and the right. You have I think the befores on the left and the afters on the right. I'm not exactly sure which one's which. But you can see there's a huge difference between the two rails. Now, I tend to look at the playfield, the background, and you can see that the resolution for the most part looks very similar. So it appears to be something that's only really affecting like the rails, the guardrails. It's kind of weird. Let's take another look at another set of pictures. Once again, I have not enhanced these at all. These are just the way that I found them on the Facebook group. And you can see that this is just a close-up view of that. is it something that's going to really draw your eye to it and mess with you? Some people have noticed it. Some people made comments about this and said it's not really that big a deal when I'm playing. I'm standing back far enough. It's not a big deal. It doesn't really bother me. It's something that maybe you don't even notice until you get really close. But because some of the tables have a lot of rails on them, it's possible this could be very distracting, especially if you're trying to follow the ball. This is something I wanted to know. Following the ball within these rails. You know, is it possible to sort of lose the ball, or maybe it's just that's when I think I would notice is when I'm trying to keep track of the ball as it makes its way through these rails. Is it somehow are you able to kind of lose the ball, or maybe it gets a little fuzzy, and that would be disappointing. So while the lag is maybe fixed, you know, your reaction time is going to be hampered or hindered by the fact that you think the ball is actually it's not really where it really is, especially with all the action going on, especially if you get a multi-ball, it could be a problem for sure. Now, this is probably a nitpick, but I think that is the thing that's giving me absolutely, or actually a lot of confidence, because at this point we are nitpicking, and that's actually what we should be doing. If you're nitpicking, that means that the game for the most part isn't broken, right? The machine isn't just flawed irreparably. It's just there's nothing you can do. Oh, it's just like it's unplayable, you know. If we're nitpicking, that means we're in a much better place, much better shape. That's exactly where I want to be. That's where I want to see the community at before I make my purchase. I did not jump in this in the very beginning. I didn't see a theme that really drew me in. But I'm telling you right now, this is, I think, one concern that I can check off the list for the most part. And there is some benefit in waiting. Now, I did not go in early, and there was some early savings. You could have saved a couple $100 just jumping in, pre-ordering. I didn't do it, and I think that this is probably a good thing because this thing is played out. It could have been worse. It could have taken longer. Who knows? But I also had the benefit of sitting back and watching different tables or different machines be announced with different themes, and a lot of people are kind of peeved that Attack from Mars came out last, and that's the one they love the most. But they all jumped in on like Adam's Family, you know. Some people got Peanuts. They're like, oh, I wish I would have waited. So I think the best thing to do at this point now that this is fixed, wait for deals. If you like one of the cabinets or one of the machines that are out there now, you like the theme, just go ahead and wait. Wait for a sale. Wait for a National Owners Day. See what they come up with. You know, as the updates come out, I think it's just going to be refined and get better and better. So that's absolutely a good thing for sure. And this is one of the reasons why, listen, FOMO is something you should fight with every bit of every core, every fiber of your being. FOMO can be evil. FOMO can be really bad for you. And this is another reason why you should absolutely fight it, because this turns out to be something that's, I think, is probably a really good thing. Well, I had a note here. What was it? Oh, yeah. So one thing that I could probably say is that the bad customer treatment may have set the bar too high. So one thing we're talking about now is we're talking about defining this as a fix or an improvement. We have an issue with AtGames kicking out some of these people that are having legitimate concerns and complaints and issues. And now that that's happened, that's going to factor into some of these people and maybe some of your opinions about the actual table itself, because you've been treated unfairly or, you know, just badly by the company. That's going to probably get you just sort of, you know, disappointed or just you're pissed off and you're like, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy your stuff. You're going to treat me like this. I don't want any part of it. Or you're going to say, okay, I might still buy it, but you're going to have to be perfect. It's going to have to be perfection, you know, because why am I going to waste my time or give my money to somebody or some company that's going to treat me poorly? So that's also something in this process that I think AtGames could really work on. Welcome some of these comments. Welcome the criticism in your official group. You know, allow people the opportunity to say, hey, I've got a complaint. I've got an issue. I've got a problem. Help me fix it. You know, be engaged in it, you know, embrace it. And for the most part, I think they handled this lag fix thing okay, other than, you know, initially denying that it existed. But once they admitted, okay, it is an issue, it is a problem, rewriting the code, getting everybody involved, starting from scratch in a lot of ways to get it to where it is now, I think is a good thing. But because of some of the ways they've treated the customers, some of the people with legitimate concerns, maybe they have screwed themselves out of future sales. For me, that is a factor. The fact that, you know, they don't really have a theme that's really just got me going. And the price isn't exactly something I'm just going to jump on. It's not super appealing. You know, it's not like it's $1,000 or 900 or something like that. So I have the you know, the benefit of just sitting back and watching. I've missed out on some of the early sales, so now I'm just going to watch and see how does AtGames continue to treat their people that have legitimate concerns and issues and problems. Is that attitude going to change towards the actual consumer? You know, and you know, is the experience going to continue to improve, or will something else pop up and have a major issue? And are they going to have a theme that I actually want to pay money for? To be honest with you, where things sit now, if they come out with Back to the Future, I'm going to be missing about $1,500. Last topic of the night, Arcade1up stealth market research. What the hell does that mean? What's going on? Well, listen, it's something that Arcade1up's been doing for a while. But for the latest and greatest on what they're actually doing, what the company is doing, let's go ahead and go over to the website, check and see what's going on. Can't really. You really got to get those coupons out of the way. You can't really see. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on. What we found, what we came across this weekend or this week, last couple weeks. No, it was this week. It all happened. It was a crazy week. Lots of stuff going on. We had some leaks. Now we've had leaks in the past from Arcade1up. Back in the day, we've been doing this. Has been going on for roughly 5 years. But back in the day, 3-4 years ago, Arcade1up would actually have a plan, have a list of cabinets. Go to a place like CES, have a presentation, tell you what was coming out, tell you what was in development, give you some sneak peeks, and you know, maybe you could actually look forward to what was coming out. You could maybe even plan and budget exactly what, you know, set some money aside. Maybe we didn't know exactly what the price was, but we knew what was coming out, so that definitely helped for sure. Oh boy. Yeah. No, I think they've got a lot of problems. Stack is definitely one of them for sure. This is another problem. Talking about AtGames. When I called about them, they blocked me. Well, there you go. That's not good. Not good at all. Yeah, man, those coupons every single time. So we had leaks this week. And like I said, back in the day, they had a plan. They would have a presentation. They would introduce maybe the first wave of cabinets for that year, but eventually things would kind of pop up here and there. And they were usually big box stores, big retailers, Best Buy or Target. Maybe the listing would pop out a day early, whoops, and they would take it down, and then it would come back up. What happened this week is shocking. Well, not really. Let's go over the first leak. We'll talk about it right now. And this is a cabinet that I think nobody saw coming or wanted. It's another Pac-Man. I will say, I'll give them this. Of all the Pac-Man cabinets, this was one of the most unique. Now, originally this had a riser, cabaret, and then the cabaret style with the riser, and then the screen was damn near flat, right? Kind of the way that it should be, you know, laying down. This one is much more upright. This is absolutely, let me see if I can't, let's do this. There you go. More of an upright, more of a, stand-up, a typical deluxe kind of size. It's Pac-Man Plus themed, but it's got that sweet wood grain. And, I mean, we can give Arcade1up all the hard time in the world. They would probably actually deserve it. But the wood grain, that's something special. I mean, come on. If you're a kid, if you remember the 70s or the early 80s, you know wood grain is where it's at. Actually, it's not really. But anyway, that's how you know something was old. It had the wood grain, the wood paneling. And so there's some stuff going on here. Let's take a look at some of the other pictures, some of the issues. So $499 first off. It's a deluxe. It's $499. Limited edition with the wood grain. So this is probably going to be, I mean, this is on Pop Market. Now, this is another thing to take note of. Pop Market is an alliance, or they're saying that this is an alliance company. So associated with Alliance, which is the company that Arcade1up signed the deal to sell their stuff or house their cabinets. So makes sense that Pop Market would be, somebody that would sell that. So this is where this was. And when I first saw the leak, I posted it on my community tab on my YouTube channel and posted the link so you could click on it and check it out for yourself. But let's take a look at some other pictures of this. Where are we at right here? Let's go to boom. Take this out. Here is the actual, let me move me over. Okay, so there's the cabinet, and there is the actual boxes itself. Check that out. You can see that this is pretty typical, pretty standard. I think, is that Cyrus? I think that's Cyrus on the box right there. Wait, it's wood grain? Vinyl? Wood vinyl. Vinyl wood grain? Yes. Yes, exactly. It's wood grain colored vinyl is what it is. You can see that if you look at the cabinet, they do have what I think is probably a mistake. Maybe this is just an early render, but the screw covers are black, so they kind of stand out like a sore thumb. Why they should be like brown or maybe tan, and maybe they eventually will. But it looks like the artwork on the actual, I mean, it's probably the same render, right? So it's going to be on the box. It's on there. Looks like they're all the same with those black screw hole covers, but that's not really the greatest look, I don't think. But it is what it is. What can you do? Here is the actual games list. So once again, you got the cabinet. You got the games list, the 14 games that we've seen in almost every. I don't think there's anything new really going on here. Not a big surprise here. What is a shocking surprise is the glowy LED strip on the very bottom. I don't know why they did that. You can see it right here on the bottom. Do I have another image? Do I have another picture? Let me see. Do I have another picture? No, that's the only one I have for that. But yeah, this is it's got a little LED bar on the bottom. It looks like unfortunately it's blending in with my background. You can kind of see on the box. Let's go back to the box. Yeah, you can see, look at the feet of the guy. I think that's Cyrus standing there. You have a glow on the floor. Is that something you want, you're into? I don't really know. I don't think that's, I mean, of all the places to put LEDs, I don't know if that's the best place for it. Now, I will say that this is probably a little bit better than they would make the actual eye panel, the panel below the control panel. They used to make that glow. That's also seemed kind of weird to me. Unless you're recreating something that was from the original arcade, and like Tron had stuff all over, right? That was a little bit different. That was an arcade recreation. They were just having parts of the cabinet glow for no reason. This is like one more thing. They just, you could tell they sort of ran out of ideas. Like, I just put an LED strip on the bottom. I don't know. Maybe the kids will like it. Who knows? I have no idea. You raised a good point, C. Marvel. This would look cool if it wasn't the 1000th Pac-Man cabinet. I like this very classic look, that contrast between the bland brown wood against the colorful Pac-Man logos. Yeah, it's quite the contrast. And yeah, if this wasn't the, hey, what's going on, Biggie D? Good to see you, man. If this wasn't the 1000th version of this cabinet, I mean, with the same games list, yeah. And then it's just, like I said, it's always just a little bit off. The cabaret should have, the monitor should be much more laying down damn near flat, right? This is way too upright for a cabaret. Just a little bit weird. So what's also kind of weird is the shape of this. So initially when you look at it, you're thinking, oh, this looks like a standard deluxe. Thank God it's not that Slim Shady, right? Slim Katie, right? Well, turns out that maybe it's a little bit closer to the Slim Katie than we initially thought. So once you see the measurements of the cabinet in the middle, you can see kind of the problem. Now, it isn't actually the Slim Katie. It's not exactly like the Casino Cade. If you look at the very bottom, the width is 18.5, right, inches-ish. I think the deluxe on the far right, that's for comparison, that's 18.8, and then these two cabinets are 18.6. So almost the same width. That's not a problem. It is the depth that is a big issue. The Slim Katie, it says 18.4 inches, right? But that's not the true width. You have that stupid toe kick, or there's that plate where you like a footrest, I guess, that is included in that measurement. So what is the depth of that? Is it 2 inches? Is it 3 inches? Is it 4 inches? I don't know. Let's say it's 3 inches. Then the actual depth of that cabinet, the actual cabinet body itself, you're looking at 15.5 inches. That's pretty thin. That's really, really thin. But it is, after all, the Slim Katie. It's something I definitely don't like at all. If you look at the cabinet in the middle, the actual, well, let's go all the way to the right. If you look at the deluxe, the depth on that is 22.4 inches, almost 22.5 inches. A full 4 inches thicker than the Slim Katie, if you also include the little footrest, right? The little ledge there. So it's definitely much deeper, and it adds, it gives you this ability of, like on this Pac-Man Deluxe, gives you the ability to lay that screen down at the appropriate angle to where it feels more like an original cabinet, for sure. And then, of course, the depth makes it just a little bit more stable. The width is what the width is, but the depth absolutely helps you there, adds a little bit more weight as well. Now let's move to the thing in the middle. This new Pac-Man Plus. You can see that it is 18.4, just like the Slim Katie. But like I said, it is also, it doesn't have that little toe rest. So that's going to be the full thickness of it, minus that footrest. So the actual cabinet is thicker. So that's probably 18.4, which is a full 4 inches thinner than the Pac-Man Deluxe. And then if we're talking about the Slim Katie, and if that footrest is 4 inches, let's say, then this thing is exactly in the middle, right? It's 4 inches larger than one and 4 inches smaller than the other, kind of right in the middle, right? But if that footrest is 3 inches, it's probably, I guess this is a long-winded way of saying, if the footrest on the Slim Katie, and if you're in the chat and if you've got one, let me know. That little footrest on the bottom, that little ledge that you're supposed to put your foot on to keep this damn thing stable. If that's only like 3 inches, then this is technically the width of this, the depth of it, not the width, but the depth. The depth is actually closer to a Slim Katie than it is to the standard deluxe model, making this, effectively, if you called it a Slim Katie, you called it a slim down model, you wouldn't be wrong because it's closer to that than it is to the deluxe. What is the bright yellow cabinet called? That is the Pac-Man Deluxe. And I think it's still for sale. I think it's still out there. Unfortunately, they made an XL version of this. It looks exactly like it, but it has a 19-inch monitor, and it's a little bit wider, a little bit taller. I think it might be the same depth, maybe a little bit deeper. Much better cabinet for sure. The XL version was great, but unfortunately, that is sold out. You can't find that damn thing anywhere. But yeah, that's your standard deluxe all the way to the right. The yellow cabinet, that's your standard deluxe, right? That's what you want. Unfortunately, no, that's not the original. That's just the standard deluxe that Arcade1up makes. That's what's available right now. So that's what that is. That's the way that looks. And if you want to go look at it right now, this listing for this machine, this cabinet, you can't, because it was taken down. Getting into the stealth theme, right? One of those things. Here we go again. The listing comes up. We find out about it. We talk about it. Then it goes down. This wasn't the first time this happened this week. Now, if this happened by itself, yeah, you could just chalk it up to, hey, this is just, Arcade1up doing what Arcade1up does. The other big leak came to us from Books A Million. Bam. Books A Million had a listing for, I think they also had a listing, for the Pac-Man Plus, as well as Pop Market. But they also had this listing of a claw machine brown box. I don't know what brown box means. I don't know if that's, this is just the incorrect listing. And so that was just on there and it didn't need to be there. I have no idea why they're calling it brown box. Does that mean it's a plain brown box? I have no idea. But we're talking about a claw machine. Now, this originally leaked. We could kind of see this, a shadowy version of this in the background of the Instagram live video that Arcade1up did. They just did it sporadically, very spontaneous, didn't tell anybody about it. They just sort of did it. And this was kind of in the background. We couldn't really make out all the details, but here it is. Let me drop myself down here a little bit. Yeah, this is it. This is it. This is your claw machine. And not a lot of details. There are no measurements for this thing. There is no, weight for this thing. They don't tell you if there's what's included. There's no details listed anywhere on this listing. This is all we have right here. But it does give you the price. And once again, we see the Alliance Entertainment. So Arcade1up, I guess, is the brand or the title. Maybe Arcade1up would be more maybe it's more appropriate to call it the title. And Alliance Entertainment is the manufacturer, or I don't know. It's a weird thing. Arcade1up is the manufacturer, but Alliance is the publisher. Who knows? But it's odd to see this now, where if you were to go and type Arcade1up in, you wouldn't find this. When the listing was live, you couldn't find it. You had to type in a claw machine, right? But unfortunately, now you can't do that at all because it's also been deleted. It's another listing that is gone. Came up, and I think within the same day, gone. Both of them. So you have a claw machine for $500. We're going to assume it's about the same size as these guys. And then you have a Pac-Man Plus for $500. And that listing was also taken down. So why did this happen? Is it some kind of stealth marketing, like I implied in the beginning of the video? Is this just them sneaky? Put it out there, see what people think, and take it down. Possibly. Definitely possible. They also have something else going on. Arcade1up has now some actual competition. We think John D announced Media1up. John D is a guy that used to work for Arcade1up. He was the senior licensing guy. He did all the licensing for that company. He left the company or was fired. We don't really know. Anyway, he's no longer with them. He has a new company coming out, Media1up LLC. And we're assuming, we've heard rumors that he's going to be bringing out some products or working with other companies to bring out new products that are going to be in direct competition with Arcade1up in some form or fashion. So some people think, well, maybe these weren't ready. Maybe these listings weren't quite ready for prime time. But what they did is they decided, well, let's go ahead and just, in response to what John D was doing, put this out there to get people talking about us and not John D. That's maybe one thing. It's possible. It could be just a way for them to get stuff out there and see what people think for free. Because what they do know is that there's a lot of us out there that have been following them for years now, and we obsess over this stuff. There's Facebook groups that are scouring the internet trying to find leaks and images that we can then discuss. And I think this also sort of ties into this new influencer program that Arcade1up has that we talked about last week, where, you could, if you're an influencer, whatever the hell that means, if you're on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever they call it now, you can join this program and, you can have early access to stuff. You can find out what's going on. You can get the scoop, right? And they were very specific about the type of the influencers they want. There were different categories and brackets you could fill out. So if you were to go and fill this out, you have to sort of sign in or log in or let them know kind of where you're at as far as your followers or subscribers. And they had a less than 50,000 subscriber or follower count, but then they had many increments above that. So there was everybody that had more than 50,000 and more than 100,000, a million, and all this stuff. So I think they have lofty goals of getting bigger channels, bigger influencers involved in what they're doing now. But the thing about that is those influencers need something to talk about. So if you have new products that are coming out that, you want to send to somebody, they're going to expect those for free. Maybe Arcade1up doesn't have anything ready yet. And so what are they going to do? Well, let's maybe release some of these. Let's just get some of these listings out there and see what people think. Because we know that the internet goofballs, the YouTubers that have been following us for years, will do this for free. And that's exactly what happened. We found it. We talked about it because we're excited about what they actually do. And that's kind of the rub. The community is literally the reason why they claim they're in fourth place, the fourth biggest company in gaming. We are the reason that you're in that spot. We put you in this coveted fourth spot as far as names in gaming, whatever the hell that means. We did that. The goofballs on the internet that talked about this stuff for free. We didn't need anything. The great thing about that is you get unbiased opinions. Now, some YouTubers, some people got involved with the company heavily. So, maybe there was some distrust there. I get it. That's fine. I was able to take part of a charity live stream with them. So that was cool to be involved with them in that aspect. But for the most part, not a lot of people actually got early access to any of this stuff. We were doing it because we were just excited about arcades and what Arcade1up was doing. And we did it for free, despite what most people are telling you. And the thing about that is the community is still here. We were here before Arcade1up. We're going to be here after Arcade1up, but we're here right now. And, if you want to engage with us, just do that. Talk to us. Talk to individuals. Put stuff out on Facebook. Just talk to us. Have polls. Have lists. Have issue questions. Hey, what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about that? The stuff that they used to do back in the day, back when they had an actual community outreach. But I'm afraid that the new regime at Arcade1up doesn't want to do that kind of work, or maybe thinks that it's not worth their time. They'd rather get big influencers to come in and do that heavy lifting for them. That's kind of a damn shame. And it really is sad because while we're here, being who we are, helping them, putting them in that number 4 spot, they're kind of ignoring us. But when times get tough, they want to go back to the well and do things the way they used to do and release stuff to get some of that free marketing. And that's fine. But let's be clear about one thing when it comes to Arcade1up. We didn't change. You did. So if you want to make it right, reach back out to the community. Don't do stealth market research. Put stuff out there, see what people think. I don't know. Maybe they'll pick it up. Maybe they won't. Just talk to the community. And you'll be surprised that we actually have a lot of discussions. We have a lot of opinions. We have a lot of suggestions of things that you can do to make things a little bit better. Maybe bring us stuff that we actually like. One thing I do every week is a poll question. Just do some poll questions on your official Facebook groups or your official Instagram or whatever you want to do. I don't know. Here's a crazy idea. Just a thought. Why don't you go on your YouTube channel and have a live stream? Don't involve anybody else. Just talk to the community and say, hey, here we are. We've been here we know we've been gone for a while, but we're back. We want to talk to you. We got some ideas. We want to know what you think. Boom. It's just that simple. My goofy self can do this every week. I know you can. Absolutely know you can. Yeah, it's disturbing what's going on in Ohio. But I'm sure, I hope the authorities know the location of Alf, and they'll get on that right away. I need more info on the claw machine. I do too. I think a lot of people do. I'm not interested, but I don't know that anybody should really be interested until we find out more information. I want to see the mechanism inside. How is that going to work? And I want to see what's going on with the toys, the prizes. The picture they show a bunch of globes inside. These little, let me see if I can get it. It's about as big as it's going to get. If you look inside, you see these like round balls. I wonder if those are two halves. They kind of look like that. There's a clear part and then a colored part. I think it's probably going to include a bunch of those, and then you can put your own prizes inside. That way the claw picks up the same size object all the time. But I talked about this in my video. A lot of the stress, a lot of the anxiety and the fun of a claw machine is that you didn't buy the stuff in there. You're paying for a chance to win it. So you put $1 in or 50 cents or whatever, and then you have this anxiety of getting it just right and grabbing the object and then drop it. And hey, that's the fun. But if you've got to pay to put all the toys and prizes in there, and if it's grabbing the exact same size object all the time, and if it doesn't cost you any money per turn, beyond something that's going to entertain little kids, I don't see the replay value at all. Like, at all, But I guess you could say the same thing about the guy that works at the arcade that has a key to the back. You can just open it up. Why would anyone play a digital claw machine? What's the attraction? It's not digital. It's an actual mechanism. We've talked about on the show. I've done it in videos talking about there are a lot of machines you can buy, little claw machines. Some of them are tabletop machines. And they're about $300, $400, but they have an actual mechanism. It actually drops and grabs and, so they're out there. I would play a digital coin pusher. There you go. It would be cool if they had a bunch of Arcade1up coins inside. That'd be cool. Then it's more of a novelty, And then they could have different colors, or maybe they could have like silver and gold, and that'd be kind of cool. Exactly. Based on like a presidential candidate, based on what we have, there's not enough information for me to make a decision other than I don't like claw machines. I mean, it's fine if it's like for real and it's got something cool in there, but I usually would get frustrated with them because you're paying 50 cents or $1. Now, maybe that's some of the appeal. You don't have to pay per turn. So maybe that's why people would like it. I don't know. Bring on the claw. Barrier of entry. NTK Fox, you've been doing arcade cab restoration for a while, right? So Arcade1up owes its popularity to YouTubers like you who bought arcades back to life. I don't think that Arcade1up doesn't owe me anything. I talk about the home arcade hobby. The reason I say that we've been here before Arcade1up and we'll be here after is because ever since arcade machines existed, there's been a home arcade market. Some guy got his hands on one and brought it home. And then, you would have arcades come to life, and then they would go out of business, and so those machines would be sold, sometimes to other arcades, sometimes to individuals. And then, now you've got these older machines. Maybe at the time they're 5 or 10 or 20 years old. Now you have a used market out there, and you have third-party companies supporting those. So the hobby's been around forever. It's not me or anybody else. The hobby has always been there, but the hobby was getting a little long in the tooth. People wanted, I think, something that they could just go to the store and buy. That wasn't $1,000 or $2,000, and that's the itch that Arcade1up scratched. But the hobby has been around way before, so it doesn't, it's not YouTubers, it's not me or any individual. It's the love of these games that is really the success of Arcade1up for sure, and everybody's willingness to spend a lot of money for them for sure. Got any spare vacation at work? I really need some help framing and drywalling a little area. I love my viewers. I do. You support the channel, but I hate drywall. I did it here because I had to, not because I enjoy it. I wish Arcade1up would come with better quality buttons. Absolutely. But if that's the only thing that you got to swap out, that's not bad. It's when they make other mistakes. Like when they have bad monitors, that's horrible. They got to have a good monitor. They got to have good artwork. They got to have a good PCB running the game properly. And then if my only complaint was the buttons, that's okay, because that can be it can actually be fun, and it can be simple to do. But yeah, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. It's for the kids. It's for the kids. The kids like the claw. The claw is coming at you. My brother Snowed Up. What is going on, buddy? Listen, when you have good advice given to you, you got to take it. Everybody, smash that like button. Appreciate you, Snowed Up. Thank you for always being here, buddy. Brooklyn Menace, to add challenge, I will fill one up with and one lucky person will win it. The rest will be filled with junk. Or you could fill some with like heavy, like rocks. So it's really heavy, so you can't pick it up. So the claw, how the claw mechanism will kind of just, if it's too heavy, it'll just kind of miss it, So you have one full of rocks and the other one is full of light stuff. That'll be kind of frustrating, won't it? Corner K, Danny, what's going on, buddy? Yes, I've arrived. How you doing? Good to see you. Arcade Dave says the claw machine with the Arcade1up coupons for their website would be great. That would be cool too, for sure. Tulsa, what is going on, buddy? Tulsa Arcades is here. Hey, man, hope all is going well. Absolutely, brother. Hope everything is going well for you and your family, buddy. Great to see you back in action, for sure. Goofy Foot, what are you talking about, man? I'm calling CPS. Jonathan oh, boy. I don't want to get involved in that for sure. The claw machine will definitely be doing some mods for it. Absolutely. I can't wait to see it. There could be some really cool mods, some cool lights. I mean, I think it's probably for 500. It will probably be bare bones, maybe a little more key up top. But I could see adding a bunch of LED lights inside. It could be fun. It could be fun. But for $500, I'm like Mr. and Mrs. Matrix here. I want to assume your gender because you get in trouble if you do that. But yeah, when you say you need more information, I absolutely need more information. I have a real Neo Geo that I bought from a bar that was closing down. I was able to get one from a guy in Montana, right there, 4-slot, and rebuilt that thing, and it was absolutely just a ton of fun. I love that machine. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. I think that Arcade1up needs to realize that the community is the one that got them where they are now. And like I said, we haven't changed. The hobby hasn't changed. They have. So I think they really need to embrace us again, engage with us again, and then, maybe, just maybe, we can be on better terms and we can help them make better stuff. Well, would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Unfortunately, it is that time to go ahead and wrap it up. But before we do, we got to talk about that poll question. Let's check out the results. Jump up here, click on that, and let's go ahead. 146 votes. Very good. I'm proud of each and every one of you. I'll give you a couple seconds to go ahead and vote on the poll question. The poll question was, if you could only pick one, which leaked Arcade1up would you buy for $4.99? Ending the poll now. Who came out on top? Who came out on top? Coming in last place with 9% was Pac-Man Plus. No surprise for me. So what does that mean? Does that mean everybody wants the claw machine? No, a whopping 62% say neither one. You're not really interested in either one. I think some of that math could change if we get a bunch of more information about the claw machine, maybe some more details about that. Could move the needle for sure. But I think everybody, for the most part, is probably waiting for something else, a new title, something, more arcade accurate. And maybe, I don't know, keep that price point at about $4.99. Everybody, thank you so much for stopping here. Thank you so much for all the happy birthday wishes. It made my weekend awesome. All of you on Facebook hit me up. That was great. I really appreciate it. I also appreciate you coming here every single week and checking out the channel, checking out the show. Y'all have a blessed week. Don't work too hard. And I'll see all of you right back here next time. Peace.